Layer, layer, layer of crispness, then some goodness, layers, goodness, layers, goodness, and then the soggy bit, because I love the soggy bit at the bottom. Hi, welcome to ggmix. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best tasting baklava that is sweet, but not too sweet. It has filo that is crisp, golden and flaky on top, and the bottom is drenched with sweet sticky syrup and almonds that bring the taste of Cyprus into your kitchen. My almonds are infused with rose and cinnamon for that authentic Cypriot taste, and the addition of mastixa adds a subtle aromatic bitterness that balances the baklava sweet sticky syrup perfectly. Don't get me wrong, my baklava is still sweet and indulgent, but it's not too indulgent that it's like, oh, I can't have another piece. You can always go in for another piece because this baklava is balanced perfectly and hits the sweet spot. Hey, who can resist layer upon layer of syrup drenched filo between the most amazing tasting almonds that are topped with the crispiest filo layers that complement the crunchy nuts, and are all wrapped up in my favourite Cypriot sticky syrup that carries notes of cinnamon, clove and rose. Sounds good, innit? That's enough of me talking. Let's get started. First, onto our syrup. Add 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of water, 2 cinnamon sticks and 5 cloves to a pan and bring it to the boil. When it starts to boil, add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice and leave to simmer for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, turn the heat off and add 1 tablespoon of honey and a splash of rose water. I have a confession to make. I didn't like, like the sweet, sticky, syrupy desserts like baklava, galadabodiko, gadaifi growing up, because I found them like too sweet and too like crunchy, because like crunchy nuts, crispy filo is just too much. I'm a cream girl all the way. So when my mum used to make galadabodiko, I used to stand by the pot and like eat some of the custard, and I used to get her to save me a bowl so I could eat of the galadabodiko. I've also got a galadabodiko video. If you want to go and check it out, I'll leave a link to it down below and here for you to go and watch that after you watch this. But me and custard are just best friends with like that. So I do like gadaifi, baklava and all that now as I've grown up, but I still find the crunch of the nuts and the crunch of the filo a bit too much. But I found a solution. Ground almonds, and not like just ground almonds, because if we just add ground almonds to our baklava, we're just going to end up with mush after we drench it with the syrup. Ground almonds and chopped almonds. Let's do an experiment. Get a tablespoon of ground almonds and a tablespoon of chopped almonds. Take a bite from the ground almonds. It's a bit mushy, a little bit creamy, and makes your tongue stick to the roof of your mouth. Right, now have a bite of the chopped nuts. Crunchy, dry, gets stuck between the teeth. Okay, now mix them together and take a bite. Creamy, crunchy, easier to chew, and nicer texture in your mouth. Can you see, adding both gives us the best of both worlds, plus satisfies our creamy and crunchy cravings at the same time. Plus, when we add the crispy filo to the equation, the crunchy nuts complement the crispy crunchy filo and adds another layer of crunch and makes it a little bit more exciting, because who doesn't love 2 of the same thing? Like when you have lemon drizzle cake, the sponge is lovely and lemony, and then the drizzle on top just takes the lemoniness to another level with that sour tang. Or how about halloumi and watermelon? They're both soft, but different kinds of soft. Do you know where I'm coming from? Okay, so our crunch doesn't become boring, we add the ground almonds to give us the opposite texture, a creamy smoothness that complements the crunch perfectly and gives us the best of both worlds, because you know how the saying goes, opposites attract. So now you know why I'm adding 2 different textured nuts. Add 200 grams of chopped almonds and 100 grams of ground almonds to a bowl. Then add 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, 5 tablespoons of sugar, a splash of rose and half a teaspoon of ground mastixa, which is around 2 to 3 mastic drops, and then mix everything together. Give it a try. Doesn't it taste so good? These flavours work so well together because with cinnamon and rose, the cinnamon is going to be adding heat and spice to the nuts, and then the rose is cooling it down with its light floral fragrance. The mastixa works well with rose because if you've been to Cyprus, you'll know the combo drenched filo and mastixa ice cream. Bomba. The mastixa, as long as you use a little bit, will give a herbal note that will work well with the cinnamon spice and a slight bitterness that will set off the rose's sweetness. It's good, it's good. Now onto our baklava. Preheat your oven to 160 degrees and melt 250 grams of butter. I'm using a pan that is 28 by 23 centimeters, but anything around that size, give or take a few centimeters, will be fine. I have 400 grams of filo and I'm going to cut it in half so I have more sheets to work with, plus they fit nicely into my pan. Butter your pan nicely so every corner and side is covered well, so when we cut into our baklava later, it comes out easily and as a whole piece. Place your filo in front of your tray. There's no need to cover it as you'll be working quickly and each layer is covered by the one on top. Place your first sheet of filo in your pan and with your pastry brush drizzle some butter all over it. Don't worry about your pastry being fully covered. If we leave some bits butter free, they will crisp up more and give us more crispness and different textures. Repeat this for the next 9 pieces of filo so you have a base of 10 filo sheets. Add a layer of your nuts and spread them out evenly so everyone will get some nuts. Then add a sheet of filo, drizzle with some melted butter and repeat so you have 5 sheets of filo in total. Add another layer of nuts and spread them out evenly. And then add another 5 sheets of filo. Then add another 5 sheets of filo that have been drizzled with melted butter and repeat the same process of 5 sheets of filo, nuts, 5 sheets of filo, nuts. Make sure your filo is always covered with butter. And then finish off with a layer of filo covered with butter. Now put your baklava in the fridge for 30 minutes so the butter hardens, and when you put it in the oven, the shock of the heat will make the filo crisp up quickly. Then take it out and score the top either into squares or diamonds and only go as deep as the top layer of nuts. Then wet your hands and sprinkle the water on top. This will help the top layer of filo crisp up nicely. Now bake your baklava in your preheated oven for 40 minutes or until golden brown like this. Now get your cooked syrup and pour it all over. Hear that? That's the sound of crunchy deliciousness. If you can wait, leave your baklava to set for at least 30 minutes. Now it's time for me to dig in, yeah. But I'm going to show you this first. Look. Listen to this. Crispy, flaky layers on top. We've got our goodness at the bottom, our nuts. More layers of filo and more goodness. Look how soft and mushy, my favourite bit, because you know me, I love creamy bits. So yes. So now it's time for me to dig in, yeah. Yeah. Look. Let me just show you, look how it cuts. Look how it cuts. This is so good because, you know, you taste the nuts, you taste the rose, and then the mastixa makes it taste so, it tastes floral, but it's not floral, it's like another herby floral deliciousness. It's like, you know, if you're used to Cypriot cooking, yeah, you'll know mastixa and rose. As I said earlier, the baldo, the ice cream is fantastic, and this is a fresh, you know, when you have like syrupy desserts, especially like Greek ones, they're very rich and that, but the mastixa and the rose make it light and it's like refreshing. It's bomba. So good. You've got to make this. This will become your new favourite baklava, and when you make it for people, they'll be like, wow, this is so good. What is it? What is the secret ingredient? Because it tastes like normal baklava, like traditional, but it tastes better. It's on another level because you've added the mastixa. It's so good. And you know what? I'm going to let my cameraman try and let's see what he thinks of it. What do you think? The best one, isn't it? Is it better than gala de borico?
No.
See, he's like me. He likes creamy custard. But this, it's too good. This. So good. This is so tasty. Oh yeah, just got another piece. Forgot to say that these nuts are so creamy. Look at this. Look at these nuts. Look how creamy. It's like they've got their own little sauce. Yeah, the sauce. Why would you want just crunchy, crunchy, crunchy? It's too crunchy and dry. This, it's creamy. It's crunchy. It's sweet. It's spicy. It's herby. It's flowery. It's floral. When you make this baklava, yeah, you don't need no other baklava recipe. This is the best one, trust me. You know my little techniques, putting it in the fridge first before you cook it. It's good. This is good. And so tasty. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share. And if you want to keep up to date with all my latest videos, please subscribe below. So until next time, bye!